I don't know about you, but sometimes I don't want a rice bowl, I don't want a sandwich. I want something that feels a little lighter and more compact and something I can eat easily with my hands. And that's why I love things like tacos, burritos, wraps, Wrapwiches. All these things are absolutely fantastic. Today I'm going to show you 3 varieties of dishes you can make with various flatbreads. Now, if you actually want to make all of this from scratch, check out Martin's Essentials video where he basically shows you how to make all these different flatbreads. These are all great formats. You can also buy these kind of in your supermarkets or wherever you want, or you can even just use kind of tortillas. What we're trying to do here is show you really healthy, easy food to prepare. And something like these flatbreads, we made with that in mind, meaning less calories, smaller in terms of portion, so you can still get something really tasty, but something that's also really good for you. The idea with healthy food, and a lot of people might say things like, oh, I could make that so much tastier by adding this and that and this. The whole point here is to minimize the amount of ingredients that you're actually using so that it's not harder to kind of track the calories that you're putting in the food. The more you add to your food, the more confused the ingredients are, the more confused you are in terms of how many calories and macronutrients you're actually packing in there. The least ingredients you use, it just simplifies your whole life. So if you really want to be healthy and if you're tracking your food this year, try to be as simple as possible and just don't self-sabotage. So I always say this in the beginning of the year, number 1 priority is health, number 2 priority is convenience, and your 3rd priority is taste and flavor. Let's make this steak and eggs wrap first. It's perfect as a high protein, high fat post-workout meal.
First thing we're gonna do is cook our Bolzico beef. We got some ribeye over here. A bit of salt. One thing people forget when counting calories is that oil plays a huge part in that. So the less oil you can use, the better. Red bell peppers, a bit of garlic. Gonna fry off really quickly. 3 eggs. So what we're making here is a high protein, high fat wrap, which is absolutely perfect post-workout meal. A bit of salt, a bit of butter. Really quickly, medium heat pan, turn it off, use that residual heat just to cook this down. Once you're happy with the consistency, take it off right away. Full knowing that even when you take it off, it'll still be cooking a little bit, so you want to take it off when it's very liquid, just like this. Depends how you want yours cooked. Perfect medium rare for me. All we have to do now is assemble. So we're using Martin's lavash Greek yogurt, just use as an adhesive. Jalapeno that we can slice as well. If you need some extra fat, or if you're looking for it, you can always add a little bit of cheese. When you use ingredients sparingly, it actually doesn't add too much calories to your dish. So here, you barely have a tablespoon of mozzarella here, but it'll make a huge difference in terms of texture and mouthfeel. We can then place this on a piece of foil. Our eggs, cooled down a little bit. Crimp the bottom part, wrap it on the sides.
Next, I'm gonna show you how to make a healthy tuna salad and how we can serve it as a taco.
Quick little tuna mix. We wanna try to keep this as clean as possible, yet still very flavorful. The important part here in terms of cutting calories is removing the mayonnaise. So we're gonna be using a little bit of Greek yogurt just to kind of give us that mouthfeel of mayonnaise. A bit of salt, red onions, some chopped walnuts, sultanas or raisins. You can chop these up if you want or keep them whole. Some Dijon mustard, red chili flakes. Anything like spices or vegetables are usually fair game. Anything in terms of condiments or things like sugar and salt, that's where you kind of want to be careful. Thought these would be really cool, kind of like in a taco format. Start with one, second one on this side. Make sure to always reheat this when you use them. If they get a bit too stiff, you can always cover them with something so that the heat kind of creates a little bit of moisture and just kind of soften things up. Tuna. Feel free to add things like avocados if you have them. You can also add some greens like some baby spinach, some chopped tomatoes, some parsley, and that's pretty much done.
Next, we'll make kind of like a Californian club, meaning some chicken, some tomatoes, some mango, and some apples, and we'll be using the lavash to kind of make this Wrapwich concoction here.
Chicken breast is one of those things that can be absolutely disgusting. But honestly, there are ways to make it really tender, and it's great for things like salads and wraps. So what I like to do is kind of like even things out as much as possible as I can here. But what's really important, you can kind of get it from the thinnest part, which is this part, and then what we're gonna do is just take off this top part here that we can use for something else. Why is this important? It'll just help cook everything evenly, and then obviously make sure you weigh things out to know exactly how much protein and calories you're getting for this piece of chicken. Salt both sides. If you want to go an extra step, but then this comes with more preparation, obviously, you can always brine things, especially when it comes to chicken. It will help make it more tender. Another thing I like to do when I'm watching my weight is just change up the types of fat that I use. So if I want to use fat and flavor, I'll use a little piece of guanciale that I have here lying around. I'm going to try not and make into a carbonara, but just use it here just as a flavor enhancer, but also a way to kind of just get some fat in the pan. I'll only use a really small piece. And for people who are thinking, okay, maybe this is not the healthiest thing, well, this is the only fat that we're gonna be using in this whole dish. I mean, cooking fat, that is. In goes our chicken breast. Perfectly cooked. People forget that when you're cooking chicken breast, it's really important also to make sure that you're resting it. That way you have something nice and thin, but also something nice and moist. For this recipe, we're gonna be using the lavash. I kinda like the shape of it, so what we're gonna do is kind of like a Wrapwich, just like that. See, we're gonna stuff it. It's gonna look really pretty, kind of like an inverted taco. Hello, hello, mister. So put it down. A little bit of mayonnaise, never hurt anyone. Then we can go with ingredients that I consider kind of like fillers. They add lots of volume, but not many calories, which is always really great. Bit of chicken, some tomatoes, some chopped mangoes, some chopped apples, some avocado. You can always season it more with salt and pepper if you want. And then if you want to be a little cheeky, you can add some Parmesan cheese on top. Close that up. The steak one first. You can keep this nice and hot.
Or toast it after. I could definitely eat this as kind of like a takeaway meal. I love this idea of using kind of like a harder chapati bread with some tuna salad. It just holds really well. Fresh, tasty. If you're bored of your regular tuna salad, it's really fun. Little burst of flavors there with your sultanas or your raisins. Nice freshness with the onions. If you don't want that intense onion taste, you can always rinse the onions in some cold water for a bit first to kind of remove that acidity. Or you can make some pickles out of it by brining it in some sugar and some salt for a while and then kind of like discarding and washing that. But for me, I like the intensity. Last, our Wrapwich. These are really fun too. Really simple. Yeah, I know if I eat like 2 of these, I'd be really happy, really full, and very satisfied. Another really important tip is when you're eating for health, never eat till you're like 100% full. Always leave some space. Because the idea there is, if you keep eating to your capacity, your body and your stomach will keep expanding to that capacity, meaning your stomach will never really kind of stay the same. So if you're eating at 100%, then the next day, your stomach's gonna expand for maybe 110%. And then your 110% becomes your new 100%. And then your 120% becomes your 100%. So the more you eat, the more your brain tells you you want to eat, but the more physically hungry you get because the more your body tells you to eat, which is really dangerous, right? So when you tell people like, if you fast for a few days, you actually find that you start getting not hungry anymore because your body gets used to just operating on less fuel. Now, I'm not telling people to undereat. I'm just saying it's really important if you're looking to drop calories, because at the end of the day, calories in versus calories out is the only way you're gonna drop weight. Make sure you always leave a little bit of space so your body starts adapting to eating a bit less than you're used to, especially if you're someone that isn't kind of like that cycle, that pitfall of eating too much calories and not being able to control that. So I hope that helps. Please try out the recipes. Let us know what you think. check out Martin's video if you want to make these from absolute scratch. And check out all the other videos that we've been posting in January also that are all going to be about kind of like health, fitness, and wellness. All the best, Happy New Year, and let's kill it.